Greta. Saint Greta of the Blessed Sailboat. I know she sounds kind of Irish. I'm trying to do a Swedish. I don't know how to do it. Okay, I'm not. I'll work on it. We'll try it again next time. Saint Greta was just arrested. She was arrested by law enforcement in Germany. I would have expected that she would have gone to Davos, either to appear at the World Economic Forum or to protest the World Economic Forum, even though the World Economic Forum loves Greta. But that didn't happen because she was arrested in Germany. She was protesting the expansion of a coal mine in Western Germany, and according to Reuters, she was warned by police that she would be removed by force if she did not vacate the mine site. And what did St. Greta do? She did not vacate the mine site. And so what happened? She was dragged off by police, marking, I believe, the first time that Greta has ever been arrested. I assumed she would have been arrested as a teenager for skipping school for like 180 days in a row, but no, I don't know, maybe the laws are different over there in Sweden. In America, I think that would have happened, truancy laws. But this apparently was the first time she was arrested. And what the libs have said now is it's time for many more of us to stand up and risk arrest for the sake of being on a livable planet. That's right, she stood up to power, except some video came out, not just of her arrest where they're dragging her off, but video of a little bit before the arrest, when Greta is palling around with the cops and actually posing for photos with them. You see, everybody smiles, giggling, taking some photos. Oh, there's Greta just laughing, having a grand... Okay, but then photos come, she's got to straightens out her face a little bit. There are the cops posing. And they're posing, holding her arm in her hand for the reporters. She's there looking defiant. Cops they're not actually arresting her, they're just posing. And then they finally walk with her in the position of arresting her. Some are suggesting that this was all a stunt cooked up by Greta Thunberg, that these weren't real police officers, that they were just men wearing costumes. I don't think that's true. I don't know for sure, but I bet those were real cops. No, the explanation for this photo op followed by a fake arrest, I guess technically a real arrest, but then they released her immediately. They just checked her identity and let her go, and the whole thing was just such a fraud. The real explanation is far darker than Greta paid some actors Jussie Smollett style. The real explanation is that they're all on the same side. Greta and the police are pretending that they're on opposite sides and they're fighting, but they're not. They're on the same side. This is why it's always such a farce when Greta protests at things like the World Economic Forum or any other liberal event, says, you're not going far enough. The libs love that. The libs love the pressure from the left to give them an opportunity to seize even more control and pursue an even more radical agenda than they were already doing. Gives them the excuse to say, well, we're getting popular pressure from St. Greta of the Blessed Sailboat, and so we've got to do this sort of thing. You don't need a conspiracy theory for that. This is how the system works. There is the appearance of opposition, but very often it's simply that. It's a facade. And the people who appear to be locking horns, fighting to the death, they're really palling around. They're really on the same team. You see this from the Republicans who cheer on the globalists at Davos. There's a Republican congressman, Maria Salazar, who showed up to the World Economic Forum not to defend American national sovereignty, not to say that we won't eat the bugs and live in the pods, give away all our property to Klaus Schwab. No, she showed up there to demand dignity for illegal aliens in America.
It is time for both parties to pay attention to something that for the last 35 years, either party has been able to do, which is to pass complete overhaul of the immigration system. Because not only we need those hands, like the Congress, like a senator was saying, but we need to also give dignity to those people who are in the country. And those are the people that I represent. We're talking about 13, 15 million people who are, most of them Hispanics, I would say 85%, who speak my language, look like me, and sound like me, that are contributing with the economy of this country, and they live in the shadows. So it's time to seal the border, like she said, Put order, let's see who comes in and who doesn't, and then turn around and give dignity. That doesn't mean path to citizenship. That means to include them and make them dignified members of our community.
Thank you.
How does that not mean path to citizenship? In what way do the illegal aliens in America lack dignity that is not merely synonymous with citizenship or a pathway to citizenship? In what way? You're saying they're contributing to the economy. Okay, so they're getting jobs. It's not that they're being kept out of getting jobs. Like when the Irish came here, and in New York they put up signs, Irish need not apply, because there was a prejudice against the Irish. That's not what's happening. Hispanics are getting a ton of jobs in America. That's why they keep coming. Is it they're not being allowed into restaurants? No, they're being allowed into any public accommodation they want. Is it that they're not being addressed by the political class? No, the political class, not only the Democrats who are importing them by the millions every year, but the Republicans like Maria Salazar, they can't stop babbling about the illegal aliens and how great they are. In fact, Maria Salazar said that she represents them. When did that happen? Maybe I'm a little bit thick, maybe I'm a little bit stupid. It's been a while since I took civics. I thought, though, that the members of Congress represented their constituents who voted for them, who voted in the elections, who are citizens, who are members of that political community. That, by definition, would exclude the foreign nationals who are illegally residing in our country in contravention of the most basic laws of our country. And what does she say? She says, I represent them. She does. I'm sure she does. When these people tell you who they are, believe them. She says, I represent the illegals. That's true. She doesn't represent you. She shows up to Davos. She pals around with all the libs. Yeah, she's got an R next to her name. Maybe she votes the right way. Look, we have a thin majority in the House of Representatives. I'll take what I can get so that Republicans can maintain control. But you think she represents you? You're crazy. She just told you she doesn't. She told you that she represents foreigners. And she represents them before she represents you. If she represents you at all, she represents them first. And she goes to their parties first, and she speaks on their fancy panels first. And she is dead set on giving them dignity. The World Economic Forum is dead set on taking away your dignity. And the best she can say is we need to give foreign criminals more dignity, more than we've already given them, which is quite a lot.